everyone, so it's now Monday the 5th. There will be a filter on here because it's just dark in here and it's dark outside. It's like 7:15 and I've been doing a bit of tidying in here. Like, you won't know how bad that was, but that was really bad earlier. So I've done a bit, and I've got all, well, I'll probably put it in a video so I don't need to show you, but I just thought I'll do a little bit now because there was stuff all over the floor, like I was walking in and there's just stuff everywhere, but it really needs like a really good sort out, like, and tidy up session, which I did plan on doing today, but by the time I got out and came back and then I was faffing around and then I've not really got much done. Like, I'm getting little small things done, but it's just taking me ages, which is just stupid. But getting something small done or several small things done is better than getting nothing done, I guess. So even though I need a drink and I'm hungry again, like, I had my evening meal at like I don't know, 5:30, and it's 7:15 and I'm hungry, but I haven't had lunch. So yeah, I thought I'd just come on because I didn't film last week. Like, I forced myself to film on Tuesday. I didn't film Wednesday, Thursday. I filmed some Friday. I didn't film Saturday, Sunday. But there's a vlog gone up which shows the footage from before today. So I'm going to kind of try and fill in the gaps as much as I can now. Basically, I'm trying to think what went on. Oh, Wednesday I had a doctor's appointment with my doctor. And I didn't leave the house until 25 minutes or 20 minutes before my appointment, and my doctor's takes between 10 and 20 minutes to get there depending on traffic. It can take longer. I've been in traffic and it's took me 35-40 minutes to get there if I've had an appointment like 5:10, 5:15, like, it's been touch and go if I'm going to get there or not. And I can't even remember what time my appointment was, but I ended up with this appointment because when I saw her 2 weeks previous, even though I had seen her once since then, I was sat there and she's like, I want to see you in 2 weeks because that's when your medication runs out and I want to see you. So I was like, I'm pretty sure you've got no appointments for that week because I heard that someone had asked for an appointment and there weren't any available until the 2 weeks after that because she's off this week now, but when it was then, she was off the first week of November basically, which is now. And she's like, oh, I'll have a look. And she looked and she basically fitted me in a slot with, I think she has a break, but she put me in there. So I presumed I had a single appointment, but I think she just booked out that whole thing for me because I was with her for 40 minutes because I kept thinking I've got a single appointment and it's either 10 or 15 minutes long because some appointments are 10 minutes and some are 15, but they never tell you how long your appointments are when you book it. Sometimes you can work it out, like my next appointment's at 6:15, so I know the 15-minute appointments, so I've got a double appointment, so my appointment's from 6:15 to 6:45. So, but if you get like an appointment time and it's like 3 o'clock, you don't know if it's a 10-minute one or a 15-minute appointment. But if it was like 3:10, you would know it was a 10-minute appointment, if that makes sense. So I presume because she'd booked it and she put it in where there basically wasn't an appointment, that it basically meant that I just had a single appointment, and I was a bit disappointed by it because I was like, oh, there's so much I want to talk to her about because there's always stuff I want to tell her or talk about or ask her advice on. But anyway, as you'll have seen, I did buy her presents. I bought her 3 boxes of chocolates and I got really nervous about it, but on the day I wasn't nervous. I think I'd just worked myself up about it because it's not a normal situation that you take your doctor a present. I mean, they probably do get gifts. I bet they get little old ladies going in with some like thing that they've made or baked. So I went to my appointment and I got there about 10 minutes early, and the receptionist was like, there's a student in, do you mind if the student's in? I went, I prefer if the student wasn't in. And she's like, oh, no problem. And normally when I go and see my doctor, half the time they don't tell you if the student's in, but she knows that I don't want a student in because I've been sat there waiting to see her, and all of a sudden the students come out and either sat in reception or gone into another doctor's office, because, you know, my doctor knows if I've got a double appointment, I'm going to be with her between 30 and 40 minutes, depending on if it's a 15-minute single appointment or a 10-minute one. So I get between 30 and 40 minutes with her. So she's not just going to get them to go and sit somewhere. So if there's another doctor in, she's going to put them in with another doctor. So, because I remember the time before, all of a sudden this obvious student doctor came out of her office and stood next to another office door. And I'm like, that's a bit weird, why are you not sat down? And then eventually when the patient came out, she knocked on and went in, but he basically told her he didn't want her in there because she came out again and she didn't look happy. And then my doctor called me in. So anyway, when I went and I was sat waiting, and I thought, oh, she must have a patient in, because if she's ahead, she normally comes out for me, but she didn't come out for me until 3 o'clock. And no one came out, so obviously she didn't have a patient in. So I went in, and I was walking towards her with this gift bag, and I don't know if she clocked it or not. And then when, like, she comes out for you, she normally walks to the door and then holds it open for you so you can walk in, and then she'll shut the door and walk in after you. So I'm walking in with this gift, and I'm thinking, when do I give it her? And I'm thinking I'm just going to have to give it her straight away because I just want it out of the way. And she was walking towards me, and I was like, happy birthday, and I handed it to her, and she's like, how did you know it was my birthday? I was like, you told me. She's like, did I? I'm like, yeah. It was like the Wednesday that I was there when she actually booked that appointment for me, because normally they get the receptionist to do it, but I knew there weren't any appointments that day. So that's why I said to her, and that's why she booked it. And she's like, oh, it's my birthday. I'm pretty sure I said it in a video that I joked that I was going to take a balloon with 90 on. That's my humour. So I give it a show. She's like, oh, Melanie, it's so lovely. She hadn't even seen it. And then she sat down, she's like, oh, can I have a look at it? I'm like, yeah. Like, it's her present. I know some people hate opening presents in front of other people. So she's like, oh, it's lovely. Like, and I'm thinking, is she like pretending or not? Because, you know, but I knew she wasn't pretending, because she's like, I'm taking these home with me, I'm not sharing them. So I went, well, I snuck in with them, so if anyone says I was acting suspicious, it's because I snuck in with them, because it was quite a big gift bag. And I'm like, when you walk in, like, if you stand too far away, they can see what you've got in your hand. So I'm like, because I was stood behind someone, I was like trying to hide it, but I think one of the reception staff walked through and saw it, because I'd put it on the thing next to me. So I don't know if they put 2 and 2 together and realised it was for my doctor. So I was just like, they don't know I've got you anything. So yeah, she was like taking a moment to eat them, because I half expected, I think I said in the video, because she's very petite, I half expected that she was going to turn around and tell me she doesn't eat chocolate, but apparently she does. So I was with her for 40 minutes, and we talked about a lot of things, because the time before that I'd seen her, was it the time before or the time before that? Oh no, I'm thinking of another appointment now. But anyway, we just talked about how I was feeling, and she always asks me if there's anything gone on that's upset me recently, or if anything stressed me out and stuff. And I don't need to even go into detail. I can either say yes or no, or I'd rather not talk about it. And I used to avoid her questions, you know, and I used to dread that she'd ask me something. And to some extent, I still do, because there's some questions that I don't want to answer, but if she asks me, I do answer. Whereas in the past, I would have avoided the question or changed the subject. But for some reason, I'm unable to do that the way I used to be able to do it. I don't know what's happened, because I used to be like the queen of avoidance. But I think it's because she knows me so well, and I do feel comfortable around her, that I'll say yes or no. I don't have to go into detail. She doesn't push me. But I did tell her about something, because I said, like, when I went in the time before, I told her about something, but I never told her what exactly happened. And I was like, do you want me to tell you? But I always feel like when I tell anyone anything that I kind of rush through it, and I think it's my way of just getting to say it. So yeah, we talked about that, and then we talked, what did we talk? I can't remember what we talked about, and I was with her for 40 minutes. And then we talked about my physical health, and she's not even willing, like, she never give me any medication even though she knows I'm really unwell. So I don't know what to do. And then I got my prescriptions for the month, because I kept having to go in to get them, because she'll only give me a week of time on some of them. So she's put them all on a week of time, but she's given me for the full month. So that day when I went on the Wednesday, I was due a prescription. So she put all my prescriptions that were due on that day on one, and then she repeated it every week for a full month. So I got 4, but one of them she's under prescribed me, because one of them I'm on 2 a day on the lansoprazole. I'm on 2 30 milligrams a day, and she's given me 1 a day. I do have some spare ones around the house, but I definitely need 2 a day. My hair needs cutting, you know. And yeah, so there's only my acne medication that she's not giving me on a repeat, but that's not due until the end of this month. I think it's got like a use by date of the 19th or the 24th, and I think I'm seeing her on the 19th. God, that seems like ages away, doesn't it? I'm seeing her 2 weeks today, because I was meant to see her 2 weeks last 2 weeks last Wednesday, so it should be a week. Yeah, a week on Wednesday this week. I'm getting really confused. But the soonest she had a double appointment was the following Monday, so it's going to be 2.5 weeks. So that means I'm going to be seeing her the following week for my repeat prescriptions, which I need to book that appointment, because if I try and book it when I see her next, it's only a week and 2 days later, and the chances are there's not going to be any double appointments for that day. But I am going to the doctor's this Friday for a flu jab, finally. Anyway, so I saw her and I left, and it took me ages to get home. I don't know why. Oh, I went to the shop first, that's why. It took me ages. And then I come home and stuff, and then I think I saw my dad. I don't know. Anyway, next day, well, that night I had a really bad night's sleep, and then next day it was my birthday. I'm not going to talk too much about my birthday, because I'm not very impressed. But basically, I woke up and I didn't feel great, and I'd not had much sleep, and then just before 12 I had something to eat. Well, that made me really ill. I felt so nauseous. Do you know the nauseousness that you feel when you're just about to be sick? I felt like that, but I weren't sick. But I have a very strong gag reflux, whatever it's called. So my body really fights it, so I'm rarely ever physically sick. And when I am, it's pretty horrific. It's like the scene of a horror, it's like watching a horror film. It is honestly bad. So I hate it when I am sick, because it's just horrific. And I was like really ill, and I just felt really horrible. So I thought, I'll just call up my doctors with a note for her. So I got ready and I went to the doctors, and I got there just after afternoon surgery started. So luckily the receptionist who was on knows that if I go in and ask for a message to be put through to her, that it's pretty important. So she put the message through straight away. So I drove to the shop, and I expected to get a phone call back pretty quick to say that I could go and see her, because I basically told her my symptoms, and I said it's really affecting me, and like I'm not well anyway, because I work well, because I've been at the doctor's every week, most weeks for the last month or so, and I wanted her to ring me to like book me in, or a receptionist, and I sat there. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go in the shop. So I went in the shop, and then, because I sat there for about 40 minutes waiting for a phone call from the doctors, either to tell me I could see her or to tell me that I couldn't see her. And then I went in the shop, and I came out, and I was dying for a wee, and I didn't want to go home, and I didn't want to go to Total Asda because they're always filthy. And I thought this would be a good time for the doctors to ring me to say, yes, you can go in. So didn't hear anything, so I rang the doctors and I spoke to who was on reception. I got someone else answered and I got her to put me through, and she's like, the doctor said that she can't fit you in, all emergency appointments have gone today, you should have rung this morning. And I was like, but I didn't feel as ill this morning. I said, I can't predict that I'm going to get worse. And she said, she's told you to either go to get an emergency appointment at your local health centre tonight or to book you in with another doctor tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow morning. I'm really unwell. I really want to see her. I said, like, this is really unfair. Like, I really need to see her. I said, I wouldn't ask if I didn't feel ill. So she's like, right, I'm going to send her a message, and when she replies, I'll ring you. So I'm like thinking, right, I've got to get across to where my dad is to drop his lunch off, because even though it's my birthday, there's no rest for me. So I get there, and just before I pull up, my phone rings, but because it just basically shut the thing down straight away because it's on that driving mode. So when I pulled up, I rang up, and she's like, she won't see you. She said, you've got to either let us book you in for the emergency appointment tonight or see the other doctor tomorrow morning. I'm like, I don't want to see the other doctor. Last time I saw her, I weren't very happy, and I'm not going to that other place. I said, this is really unfair. Then I started to cry. I started to cry down the phone because I was already emotional. Like, my birthday wasn't amazing. And I don't want to talk about it right now, but it weren't amazing. And I was like, it's my birthday, blah, blah, blah. I started crying. I'm like, all I want to do is see my own doctor. Like, anyone think it's too much to ask to see my actual doctor, and I'm being fobbed off to see another doctor that I don't want to see, or to go to somewhere I've never been before. And she's like, well, I don't know what to do. I said, well, why won't she see me? I don't understand. Like, it's going to take 5-10 minutes. Why can't she see me? And I'm like, full on crying down the phone. She's like, right, I'm going to go in and see you when the patient comes out, and I'm going to speak to her and tell her you're really upset and, you really need to see her. So I'm like, please phone me back. And she's like, I will do. So I went in and gave my dad his sandwich. I was like, I'm not staying. I've had enough. The doctor won't see me. I feel ill. I can't cope. So I left. Little did I know he then rang up because he knows for me to get in that sort of state, there's something wrong with me. And he like rung me back, and I rung him. He's like, I rung the doctors and they won't tell me anything. They just told me that the receptionist has gone in to speak to the doctor and she'll phone you back. So I'm like, right. So she phoned me back and she's like, she won't see you. She said, you should have rung this morning. And I said, I've already said why I didn't phone this morning. And she's like, well, she definitely can't see you. There's no appointments left. She cannot fit you in. She's going on holiday today. Well, I knew that anyway. So I went, oh yeah, because going on holiday is far more important than saving your patient's life. And I was just so upset. I was just being really dramatic. And I was like, and if I die, it'd be Doctor his fault. And she's like, I know. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows why I died. At the time I didn't realise how dramatic I was being, but like now that I can think about it, I do like realise how dramatic I sounded. And like, I've had enough. All she cares about is going on holiday. And I was like, really, like, and I was crying, and she's like, I don't know what to suggest. She's like, I really, really don't know what to suggest, because she's saying she can't see you. She's telling you to see a doctor here tomorrow or go to the emergency appointment tonight. I said, I don't want to go to the emergency appointment. I want to see my doctor. Like, why? And then I said, like, another doctor there whose practice it is, I said, he always says that if someone's really ill, they'll always fit you in even if there's no appointments. And she's like, is that what he said? I went, yeah, he's always said that. And she's like, well, doctor such and such can't fit you in. I'm like, I've had enough. She's like, I'll go and speak to her again, and I'll just tell her that you really, really want to see her and you're not well. And she said she'd phone me back. So I'm in the house really stressed out, didn't know what to do with myself. I hadn't had my lunch. I'd bought my lunch, but it had gone cold. And I was just like, I've had enough. Like, I can't believe she won't see me. It's like 5-10 minutes. It's not like I'm going in for my double appointment and I'm going to be there 30-40 minutes. I just need to be seen because I feel ill. And for me to make a fuss about it, it just goes to show how ill I am, because normally I just play it down. But I thought, I can't cope with feeling as ill as I did. I felt absolutely horrendous. I felt like I was going to be sick everywhere, but I wasn't. Like, I even said to her on the phone, I'd rather be sick than just feel this way. And I feel like she just didn't know what to say to me, and I don't think she could have said anything to me because I was just so upset. And then I didn't hear anything for about 30 minutes, and I rang up, and I asked the receptionist if she would put me through. She said she's just about to go and see the doctor. I said, can you ask her to ask the doctor to phone me? And she said, I will do. And she said, just ring back in 10 minutes. So I waited a bit longer than 10 minutes, and I rang back, and it rang for ages. And then she answered, and she said she's definitely not going to see you. She said, I've spoken to her, and she's just saying your only options are an appointment tonight, emergency one at your local health centre, or to come and see the other doctor tomorrow. And I said, it's really unfair. I said, you know, I would never ask or get this upset if it was just me not feeling, you know, if I was only feeling a little bit unwell. And she's like, I know. I said, I just don't understand why she won't see me. She's like, well, she's going on holiday. And I said, yeah, she can't miss her holiday, can she? And I said, is she not working at such and such? Because at Thursday night she normally works somewhere else. And she's like, no, she's booked it off. So she's like, you know, you've got two options. And I said, well, I don't really know the other place. I said, I'd feel too anxious going there because I don't know it. And she said, well, just book in with the doctor tomorrow morning. She said, that's your best option. So I booked the appointment, and I apologised for, like, getting all, like, stressed out on her. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. And I said, you've not told the doctor what I said about her killing me and stuff. She's like, no. And I said, honestly, have you? She's like, no, I didn't. And I said, is she angry with me? And she's like, she don't seem to be angry. I said, are you sure? She said, no, she seemed fine. I said, because if she is angry, just tell me so I know for next time I see her, because I'm sure she'll bring it up next time. She went, no, she seemed fine. I said, have you honestly not told her what I said? Because I did, like, rant on about her going on holiday and it being more important than looking after her patients. But I was upset. She's like, no, it's absolutely fine. And she said, you know, you're just not well. And I'm like, I know. And I apologised a couple more times, and then that was it. And then I literally got off the phone and I went in my bedroom and laid on my bed. And I didn't go to sleep, I just laid there for about 2 hours just trying to calm down. I think everything just got on top of me on my birthday. Like, I'm not a big fan of my birthday anyway. And I'd rather have not been here. Like, I would have rather been in Devon, but it was just financially impossible for me to have gone to Devon for my birthday. And also, I'm glad that I didn't have the money, because I would have been down there miserable and ill, and coming home tomorrow, because I would have gone Tuesday to Tuesday, and I would have been there ill the whole time. So I'm glad that I wasn't able to afford to go. I've still got to buy my car insurance, which runs out at midnight on Wednesday, and I'm broke. So yeah, I'm glad that I didn't book Devon. I would have liked to have gone, but it's going to be next year now before I go, which I wanted to go, but I really need to get away really badly. I'm getting upset about it, but it was just like, my birthday isn't like the happiest time for me, and I just needed to see my doctor because I felt physically ill. But I did want a bit of a chat, and I think she realised that. And I think because I'd had 40 minutes before, I think that's why she was reluctant. Because I had 40 minutes the day before, I think that's why she was probably reluctant. And also she was finishing on, like, she was leaving just before 5, because when I spoke to the receptionist about 1:45, she went, she's leaving in the next few minutes. And I said, can you let her know that I've booked the appointment tomorrow? She was like, well, she's asked me to go in and tell me what you've done. Because I knew if I didn't book an appointment, she would have been like, there's nothing wrong with her. But there was. It was just, when you've got a doctor and you prefer that doctor, if you can see that doctor, you'll see her or see them. But I think also because I was feeling down, I just wanted a bit of a chat. And I know that's what, like, she couldn't have had the chat. Well, she probably would have done, knowing what she's like. But also she refused to ring me as well, which got to me. But obviously she wanted to finish on time. But ringing me up for a couple of minutes, like, I know my dad wasn't happy with her. So yeah, I went and just laid on my bed for a while and just calmed down, and I felt really ill, and I think that's why as well I got the way I got. I don't even know why I'm getting upset. I'm filming like the world's longest video as well, but I don't want to get upset. Yeah, it was just a crap day. And then I got loads of junk food. You would have seen, like, I got a pizza. I had 2 pieces of that pizza. It was just way too cheesy. I didn't like it, and the dog ended up with a lot of it, and then I binned the rest. And I had 2 pieces of the garlic bread, and then I had a bit of the ice cream, and that was basically it. Like, it was like, I just didn't want to be here on my birthday. And I was here. And I'm still here, and I don't want to be here, basically. But that's another story. Yeah, next day, oh god, I didn't sleep very well Thursday night. And when my alarm went off, I was like, because I had to go to Marks and Spencer's before I went to the doctor's, because if I would have went to the doctor's, I wouldn't have had time to go to Marks and Spencer's and another supermarket and get to my hair appointment. So the plan was to leave at 10, but I left at 15:15, which wasn't too bad. And then I walked around Marks and Spencer's, and I was just like, I can't be bothered. I still spent 40 odd quid, but I was just like, do you know when you're walking around, you're like, don't know what I want? That's how I was, and I was just like, I can't be bothered with this. And then I left, and then I got to my doctor's 10 minutes early, because as you have seen, I took tablets outside and I went in, and I was in and out pretty fast. I was actually pleasantly surprised how fast it was. And then I sat on, oh god, here's another drama. So I sat on Asda car park for about 40 minutes, and I didn't even have 40 minutes spare, but I think because I was tired, and I'm really fed up at the moment. Like, I know it doesn't come across in the videos, but I'm so down, and I'm so close to giving up on life, and I don't talk about it because I don't want to trigger anyone else off, or, like, I come on here and have a bit of a chat, and sometimes it takes my mind off it, and it helps in some ways. I mean, it won't ultimately stop me if I go to do it, but I am struggling. So I sat there for about 40 minutes, and I'm like, I'm going to have to go in because I'm looking at the time, and I got an hour to get the shopping, get home, get it unpacked, and then get to my hairdresser's appointment. So I was like, right, let's go in. And, oh no, I had an hour until I had to leave for my hairdresser's appointment, not get there as well. So go in, and I get some of my shopping, and I'm stood at the end of the aisle, and 2 people walk behind me and go around the corner, and there was something I was looking for, and I'm like, where is it? Can't see it. Walk around the corner, and it was my mum and my brother. There's a long story behind this, and I'm not going to get into it in this video because I'm already quite upset. So I spotted them, and I think my brother had spotted me, but he didn't let on, but he definitely knew it was me. I double-backed, ran down the shop with my trolley, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I need to get my shopping, but they're in here. I don't want to bump into them again. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to see them. And I know, like, I've never really talked about my family or everything. Like, I don't know how to even word it, but they're the last 2 people I'd want to bump into. Like, I'd rather bump into my ex who used to beat me and rape me. That says a lot, doesn't it? So I'm like on the phone, and I'm ringing my dad. I'm thinking, oh my god, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like ringing my dad, like, to see if they're going to be long in the shop, because I thought if I get hold of my dad and my dad rings my mum, and he rings her and she's like, only going to be 10 minutes, then I can, like, leave the shop and come back in. And then I thought, well, I've got shopping. What am I going to do with the shopping? So couldn't get hold of my dad. Typical. Like, he never answers his bloody phone when I need him. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, I need to, like, walk around the shop, because I was only on the first bit. Like, when I ran down the other end, I grabbed 1 bottle of pop that my dad drinks, and then I just couldn't pick anything else up because I didn't want to walk up and down aisles and bump into them. So rushed to the other side of the shop, rushed up to the top end, and then along the checkout end, looking down each one as I was going, just to make sure that they weren't going to walk up one into me. Went on the self-checkout, self-checked out really fast, practically ran to my car. Don't know where I got the energy from, because I don't have any energy anyway. So I get in my car and I come home and I'm putting the shopping away. And my dad turns up. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? And then I told him I bumped into. And I'm like, because of them, I couldn't finish my shopping. I said, I don't have time now. Going to my hairdresser's and setting off in 20 minutes. And I said, I'm not going back to Asda because I'm going to look like an idiot. Like, I've gone in there with a trolley, got about 8 things, and then I'm going to go back with a trolley. Like, that's just going to look dodgy. I said, I'm going to have to go to Tesco. I've not been to Tesco since early June, which you'll know if you watched the last vlog. So I'm like, I don't really want to go there, and I felt anxious about going there because there's people that I've bumped into that I don't want to bump into, and I was just like, oh my God. So he's like, well, I thought your mother went to Asda on Friday morning. I said, so did I. I said, because years ago, like 3-4 years ago, well, it's more than 3 years ago, it's probably like 4 years ago, we used to meet them on a Friday morning and have breakfast with them. Not often, it was probably about 5 or 6 times because I basically couldn't be bothered going at that time in the morning because we used to meet them at 10 o'clock. So the fact that they were there at like 20 past, 12, I was like, really? So if I'd gone in when I first got there, because I was sat in my car for 40 minutes, I potentially still would have bumped into them because what they do when they get there, they have a cigarette outside, then they go in and they go in the cafe, they have some breakfast, then they go back out, have a cigarette, then they do the shopping. So I still potentially would have bumped into them because they could have been outside smoking when I came out or went in. So I was not impressed at all. So filmed some clips for the vlog, which you've seen, went to the hairdressers. Don't want to talk about my hair at the moment, but I'm not fully happy. I'll tell you that much. It's the most I've ever spent on my hair and I'm not happy. And because I couldn't see it at night and it was dark and I hadn't eaten much all day, like I'd had a little bit of bread. I had like, what did I have? I remember I had something before I filmed the clip, before I went. I had a piece of pizza. That's what I had. That was it, that's all I had. So, left here late to go to hairdressers. Then, pulled onto the main road. There was some kind of accident. There was police everywhere. I think a lorry had like either fallen over or something. Not that they just fall over. Sat there for about 10 minutes and I'm like, I've got to be at the hairdressers in 10 minutes. It's a 20-minute drive. So I turned round, went the back way up towards, like, I can't even describe it because if you don't live near here then you won't know it. So I got there 10 minutes late, but she was with another client. And then I was there till 5:30. Then I went to the shop and then I filmed some clips. Then I went in the shop and then I saw someone that I didn't want to see who was trying to take a picture of me, but that's another story that I don't want to get into. But I did. I liked it and I didn't. Like, I felt weird about going because I've not been for 6 months. And I used to see the same people all the time and they got used to seeing me. Like, there was a time when I was going 7 days a week and then I cut it down to 6 around a year ago because it was getting too much because Sunday I was preparing for the week ahead. I was getting everything ready because I was working, so I didn't have as much time to do stuff. So I was all day Sunday I would be busy. So I didn't want to have to get up and get ready and go to the shop, and then, you know, with getting ready and going to the shop it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, I could have been doing all sorts of stuff at home. So that's why I stopped going on a Sunday. And then I stopped going on a Saturday earlier this year because I just couldn't cope with it anymore. I was having a really bad time. So I cut it off and I was going 5 days a week in the daytime. I weren't going out of the house at night and I'm still not. But I need to try and sort that at some point because, you know. And, yeah, it was weird because I used to go to Tesco every night. Like, every night I would go to Tesco. I mean, I don't think it was every night. It was some nights. And then I'd film clips for this channel, and that's why I said, like, if you're old school, when it comes to being a subscriber, you'll recognise that lighting because I would always film up there. And I liked it, and I kind of miss it. But I don't think I've done it since I went to that job. Because I used to, like to be in bed by, like, 11 or 12 or whatever it was, because I wanted to be asleep by 1 because I was getting up between 6 and 7. So I stopped going at night. I think there was an odd night when I went. but I think it was like, it probably weren't as late because it was just dark, so I would have, like it's getting dark early now, isn't it? So I've been filming for ages, I'm going to have to finish this soon. So other than the stress of bumping into someone and knowing that my ex shops there, because he used to shop at Asda, and then he realised that I was shopping at Tesco, so we started to shop at Tesco. That's one of the reasons why I stopped shopping there, but I don't really want to get into my ex, and I've also bumped into other people that I don't want to bump into there. So they were the kind of part of the reasons why I stopped shopping there, but that's not for this video. And yeah, but I did like, it's not the biggest Tesco, but the Asda that we have isn't the biggest Asda, so there's not as much choice as there would be in the normal sized ones. But I liked buying certain foods from Tesco, and I missed going to Tesco. But one of the reasons I felt awkward is obviously that people got used to seeing me an average of three to 5 times a week, because as I said, I did cut it down. And they would see me, and they were getting to know me, and we'd have a bit of a chat, like a couple of them, and they all knew me, and they all eventually stopped IDing me. But I felt awkward because I'm like, oh God, they're gonna. I thought, like, I wonder if they like see me, and they're like wondering why they've not seen me for so long. Like, some of them might actually ask me if I go again, because actually I've decided I'm gonna go once a week, because the choice of food in there, like some of the food's better quality than Asda. I know it's slightly more expensive, but I think I'm gonna go once a week. I think I'm gonna go Wednesday this week because I've got to go to my hairdresser's. I'm actually going to pick something up, but I wanted to look at my hair, because have you seen that? It looks like it's not been cut. Can you see the ends? It doesn't look like it's been cut, and then I've got this long bit here, and then this short bit. And I'll talk about why I think it's like that in another video, because I've filmed a lot and I don't want to get into it, but I'm not very happy. So I'm going to say to her, do you think my hair's straight at the back? Because I don't think it is. And hopefully she'll give me a free haircut, because I shouldn't have to pay when she's not done it properly. But I feel like it needs half an inch off, and she's already took half an inch off, so that's an inch off, and it's probably only grown 1.5 inches. I think it's grown probably 2 though, because I worked out it was about 14 weeks between haircuts. But this bit wasn't like that, but I don't want to talk about that in a moment. So yeah, I came home, and then I did the videos of what I got, and I was just so knackered because I left the house at 10:15. I know I called home for a little bit, but I didn't sit down, and I didn't get back in till like going up for 7 or whatever it was. I was out the house for 8 hours, and I'm never out the house longer than 2-3 hours maximum. If I'm going to see the doctor, I'll probably be out 2.5 hours, because I'll go to shop as well. So Saturday I was absolutely worn out all day, and then, well, Friday I noticed my hair didn't look as good as I thought it did. I had a mini breakdown about it, and I had it all tied back at weekend. It looked a lot thinner than it does today, but I think because she had so much product in it, it just made it super thin. But I don't know how I fully feel about it. I think it needs a couple more washes for it to settle, and then I'll know 100%, because I washed it today, and I've put a treatment on it, a hair growth treatment. It's just the Lee Stafford one, but I feel like when I was growing it 2 years ago that it did help, so I did stop using it. It says to use it like every time you wash it until you're happy, and then just use it once a week. So my hair will probably be looking a bit more greasy tomorrow. So I'll talk about why I don't like it and stuff in another video, because I was meant to do an update video about my hair, but I'm going to see her Wednesday, see what she says, see if she'll trim it for free, because I think she has cut it, but it's not very good. And I think I know why it's not very good, but that doesn't matter at the moment. So yesterday, well, Saturday night, my dog, actually Saturday night there was so much police everywhere at 1:30 in the morning. I thought they were coming for me because they're so dramatic about me. They would send as many police officers as there was on the street. But I will talk about that in my next clip, because I'm going to go and I'm going to do a couple of things and Look how tidy it is compared to what it was.